Imagine a day that embodies the triumph of freedom, the resilience of a people, and the power of unity. A day when the chains of slavery were finally shattered and the promise of liberty echoed across a nation. Now imagine finding out about your freedom 2.5 years after it was declared. That's what it was like for enslaved people living in Texas in 1863. If you're new here, I'm Teacher Kayla, and I'm inviting you to join me on a journey through history and unravel the untold stories, honor the unsung heroes, and explore the profound significance of this momentous day. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and reminded of the indomitable spirit that forever changed American history. I'm talking about the newest federally recognized holiday, Juneteenth. December 31st, 1862 doesn't just represent a time where people were celebrating a new year, but some people were celebrating the chance at a whole new life. On September 22nd, 1862, Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that all enslaved people be free as of January 1st, 1863. So, in honor of this news, enslaved and enslaved people alike anxiously awaited the news that would change their lives forever. At the stroke of midnight, when people were sharing kisses and cocktails around the world, free and enslaved African Americans were celebrating the fact that the Emancipation Proclamation was finally in effect. They were finally free, but things were handled a little bit differently back then. You have to remember, this was a time before the internet, even before televisions, and before radios were invented. The way that people found out about this news was that Union soldiers marched into cities and onto plantations announcing the news and reading off parts of the Emancipation Proclamation out loud so that people knew some of their rights. They were able to breathe a sigh of relief that it was finally over. There was only one little catch. Sure, this freed slaves in Confederate territories, but not everyone in the Confederate territories would be immediately freed. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation went into effect in 1863, it couldn't be implemented in all the places that were under Confederate control. For example, people living in Texas, which was the westernmost state, didn't hear about this news until much later. They didn't really know what was going on because there was a lack of communication and access to that information. And of course, the Confederates that were in control of the area were not sharing that information openly with them. There were also rumors at this time that a messenger who was sent to Texas to relay the information about the Emancipation Proclamation was actually murdered while he was on his journey. And that was one other reason they say that the information took so long to get there. But I'm not sure how, even if one person was murdered, how it took 2.5 years to get the information over to Texas. There was no way for anyone else to just say, hey guys, it's over, let's call it a day. It actually took until the 13th Amendment was enacted, which was signed by President Lincoln on February 1st, 1865, for the emancipation to become national policy. In this policy, Abraham Lincoln stated, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment of crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Back to the story. News of freedom finally reached Texas on June 19th, 1865. Yeah, 2.5 years later after it was announced. This happened when Major General Gordon Granger showed up with 2,000 Union troops in tow, and they marched into Galveston Bay, Texas. Granger and his troops announced loud and proud to everyone that their prayers had been answered and that all of the enslaved people in the state were free by executive decree. I'm talking about more than 250,000 enslaved people. And that is why this date, the June 19th, 1865, went down in history. And this date became known as Juneteenth, a combination of the date June and 19th put together, Juneteenth, to represent the day that all of the enslaved people in Texas were now free. Juneteenth marks the date of our country's second Independence Day. Despite its cultural significance, Juneteenth was not recognized as a state holiday until 1980, when oddly enough, Texas made the first move to make it a holiday. And now Texas also holds the biggest Juneteenth celebration in America. Since then, other states have followed suit. It took until 2021 for Juneteenth to become a federally recognized holiday. Although it's been celebrated in African American cultures, it remains largely unknown to many people around the world, including America. But that has been changing, and I hope it continues to change as we all work to educate ourselves on monumental moments such as this one. Okay, that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure to ding the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's super helpful to me to continue making videos like this one. Also, take a minute to leave me a comment. I love to see comments from you guys, even if you just leave me a quick hello. All right, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.